In quiet neighborhoods, power goes wrong.
You never expect a stranger to try to control your child's life while she's lying on an operating table. But that's exactly what happened. My daughter was minutes away from surgery, the doctors were scrubbed in, and an HOA Karen stood outside the operating room, screaming that the procedure violated community rules. That's when the doctor picked up the phone. The hospital smelled like disinfectant and coffee. Monitors beeped softly. Nurses moved quickly but calmly. My daughter, Lily, lay on the bed, her small hands folded over her gown. She tried to smile, even though fear flickered behind her eyes. "It'll be okay, right?" she asked. I squeezed her hand. "It will," I said. "We're right here." This wasn't optional. This wasn't cosmetic. Lily needed the operation to fix a condition that made everyday movement painful. The doctors had explained everything carefully. Delay meant risk. Waiting wasn't an option. A loud voice echoed down the hallway. "You can't do this." Heads turned. Nurses stopped. A woman marched toward us, heels clicking, phone raised, face flushed with anger. "Karen." HOA badge clipped to her purse. I recognized her immediately. "Ma'am," a nurse said politely, "this is a restricted area." Karen waved her hand dismissively. "I have a right to be here," she snapped. "This surgery violates HOA regulations." The nurse blinked. "HOA regulations?" she repeated. Karen pointed straight at Lily. "That child lives in our community," she said loudly. "Major medical procedures must be approved." The hallway went silent. A doctor stepped out of the operating room, mask hanging around his neck. "Excuse me," he asked calmly. "I'm the attending surgeon," he said. "Who are you?" Karen puffed up. "I'm HOA enforcement," she replied. "And this surgery cannot proceed." The doctor stared at her. For a long moment, he said nothing. "This is a hospital," the doctor said slowly. "Not a homeowners association meeting." Karen crossed her arms. She didn't get permission. I stepped forward. "Permission from whom?" I asked. Karen smiled. "From us." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "Dad," she whispered, "am I in trouble?" My chest tightened. "No," I said firmly. "You did nothing wrong." Karen rolled her eyes. "Don't dramatize it," she said. "It's just procedure." The surgeon's tone hardened. "Ma'am, leave now or hospital security will escort you out." Karen laughed. "Call whoever you want," she said. "This surgery is not happening." A nurse glanced at the wall clock. "We're losing our window," she whispered. The doctor clenched his jaw. Every minute mattered. Karen knew it. And she enjoyed it. "You people think you're above rules," Karen said loudly. "Well, not today." She raised her phone. "I'm recording this." I stared at her. "You're recording a child about to go into surgery?" She shrugged. "Evidence." The surgeon turned away from Karen. He looked at me. Then at Lily. Then at the nurse. "Call security," he said. "And call the police." Karen froze. "Police?" Karen laughed nervously. "For enforcing rules?" The doctor didn't look at her. "This is interference with medical care," he said calmly. "And it ends now." Two hospital security officers appeared at the end of the hallway. Karen's voice rose. "You can't touch me." Security stayed professional. "Ma'am, please step away." Karen backed up, but didn't leave. Karen leaned toward Lily. "You don't need this surgery," she said. "You'll be fine." That was it. The doctor stepped between them instantly. "Do not speak to my patient," he said sharply. The doctor picked up the phone at the nurse's station. Yes, he said clearly, we have an individual interfering with a scheduled operation. Karen's face drained of color. As the doctor continued speaking, Karen looked around the hallway. At the nurses. At the security guards. At me. For the first time, she realized. This wasn't an HOA meeting. And she was about to lose control completely. The hallway felt smaller. Tighter. Karen stood frozen, phone still raised, as if recording could somehow protect her. The doctor finished his call and placed the receiver down slowly. We're proceeding with the operation, he said firmly. Karen's eyes widened. You can't, she snapped. I haven't approved it. The doctor looked at her evenly. Your approval is not required, he said. Your presence here is. Karen scoffed. You doctors think you run everything. The nurse beside him whispered, police are on their way. Karen's confidence cracked for just a second. Police, she repeated. For what? For delaying life-necessary care. But no one said that out loud. They didn't need to. Hospital security moved closer. Not aggressive. Professional. Ma'am, one said calmly, we need you to step away from the patient area. Karen backed up a step. Then another. This is discrimination, she muttered. You'll hear from my lawyer. Lily squeezed my hand. Dad, are they going to cancel it? I knelt beside her. No, I said softly. They're making sure it happens. The doctor nodded at her reassuringly. We're ready whenever you are, he said. Karen raised her voice again. You're all going to regret this. Nurses ignored her. Doctors ignored her. Security ignored her. That silence terrified her more than shouting ever could. Distant sirens echoed faintly through the building. Karen stopped mid-sentence. Her face went pale. No, you didn't, she whispered. The doctor didn't respond. He was already reviewing charts. Two uniformed officers entered the hallway. Calm. Focused. This the individual, one asked security. Security nodded. Karen immediately pointed at me. He threatened me, she blurted out. The officers didn't react. Ma'am, the officer said, why are you interfering with medical staff? I'm HOA enforcement, Karen said quickly. She lives in our community. The officer blinked. And I didn't approve this procedure. The officer looked at the doctor. The doctor raised an eyebrow. She is delaying urgent medical care, the doctor said clearly. She has refused to leave after repeated warnings. The officer nodded slowly. That's a serious issue, he said. Karen laughed nervously. You can't arrest me for doing my job. The officer's tone changed. Your job does not extend into a hospital, he said. And it definitely doesn't override parental consent or medical necessity. Karen's smile disappeared. Ma'am, the officer said, leave the premises now. Karen shook her head. No, she said stubbornly. This surgery stops today. That was it. The officer nodded to his partner. Ma'am, turn around. Karen froze. You're joking. I'm not. Her voice rose. You can't do this. But they already were. Karen was gently but firmly handcuffed. Her phone slipped from her hand and hit the floor. The recording ended. So did her authority. As Karen was escorted away, the hallway seemed to breathe again. Nurses resumed movement. Monitors beeped. The doctor turned back to Lily. Ready? He asked softly. She nodded. They wheeled Lily toward the operating room. She looked back at me. I love you, she said. I'll be right here, I replied. This time. No one stopped us. From down the hallway, Karen's voice echoed faintly. You're making a mistake. Then the doors closed. Silence. I sat alone now. Hands clasped. Heart racing. But for the first time that day, I felt relief. As the operating room lights turned on, I realized something important. Karen thought she had power. But real authority showed up quietly. In uniforms. In scrubs. In people who protect life. Time moves differently in hospital waiting rooms. Every second feels heavier than the last. I stared at the closed operating room doors, replaying everything in my head: Karen's voice, her confidence, the way she thought she could decide my child's future. I clenched my fists. Not in anger. In prayer. While I waited, my phone buzzed. Messages from neighbors. From parents. From people who had witnessed what happened. Is Lily okay? Did they really arrest her? I can't believe she tried that. The story was already spreading. And for once, the truth was ahead of the lies. After what felt like hours, the surgeon walked toward me. His mask was off now. He smiled. The operation went well, he said. My knees nearly gave out. She's stable, he continued. She did great. I exhaled a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding all day. Thank you, I said quietly. The doctor shook his head. You did what any parent would, he replied. And what she did was unacceptable. He paused. We documented everything. I nodded. I already knew this wasn't over. Karen didn't go home that night. She sat in a holding cell instead. Still insisting it was a misunderstanding. Still claiming authority she never had. But this time, no one listened. By morning, formal charges were filed. Interference with medical care, trespassing in a restricted medical area, harassment of a minor, abuse of authority. Each charge stacked higher than the last. And none of them had anything to do with HOA rules. The courtroom was quiet when Karen walked in. No confident stride. No raised chin. Just a woman staring at the floor. The judge listened carefully. Especially when the surgeon testified. Especially when hospital security played the footage. This court does not recognize self-appointed authority, the judge said firmly. He looked directly at Karen. You do not control medical decisions. You do not override parents. And you do not intimidate children. Karen swallowed hard. Karen was barred from holding any HOA position permanently. She was issued a restraining order. Mandatory counseling. Probation. Community service at a hospital she was never allowed to enter again. Her name would always be attached to this case. The HOA called an emergency meeting. This time, without badges. Without clipboards. Without power trips. New policies were written. No HOA interference in medical or personal matters, mandatory ethics training, immediate removal for harassment. It should never have taken this. But it did. Days later, Lily woke up groggy but smiling. Did it work? She asked. Yes, I said softly. It worked. She squeezed my hand. I knew it would. As she rested, I watched her sleep. Machines beeped steadily. Safe. Protected. I thought about how close she came to being delayed, not by medicine, but by ego. The story went viral. People weren't just angry. They were awake. Parents questioned HOA power. Hospitals reinforced policies. Communities talked about boundaries. Karen became an example. Not of power, but of what happens when power goes too far. One evening, Lily asked, Dad, why did that lady think she could stop the doctors? I chose my words carefully. Because she forgot something important, I said. What? That rules don't matter more than people. Weeks passed. Lily grew stronger. Each step hurt less. Each smile came easier. And the memory of that day slowly lost its grip. Authority without compassion is dangerous. Rules without humanity are meaningless. And no badge, no title, no clipboard gives anyone the right to interfere with a child's life. Karen tried to stop an operation. Instead, she stopped her own future. Because when someone crosses the line between control and cruelty, justice doesn't ask for permission.